Hello, everyone. Welcome back to The First Draft. I am your host, Nina Banks, and I have with us
Kayla Holmes,
Ola Mokhtar,
KJ,
and then Hope Smith.
And we have our very special guest, KJ, joining us. He's a photographer for us, and he also has another podcast that comes before us called Everything But the Bagel, right? Everything
Bagel.
Everything Bagel, okay.
No, but the bagel.
Everything but the bagel.
It's a great podcast, guys.
That's actually not bad. That's not a bad name though.
Everything But the Bagel?
Yeah.
I like that, yeah.
It's not
We're
too
actually stealing that for our next podcast.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
But we're back. We're getting ready to wrap up for a few weeks on break. How's everyone feeling about our last few stories?
So good. I'm feeling good about it. It's been a trek. We've been definitely putting in our energy into that paper for sure. But I'm excited with the product.
Same, for sure. I feel like I know Hope you're doing a story about winter burnout, and I feel like that's real, you know.
Yeah.
It's all of us right now.
Get through it. Get through it.
Yeah. For my spring break, I'm gonna be sleeping, so I need these couple of weeks to just like, can you like finish up, please? So.
Absolutely. And on the topic of that, we're going to be relaxing a lot over break. And I know a lot of us use social media since we're in Gen Z. And something trending right now on social media are Am I the Jerk podcasts. And so we've decided to have our little go at it because we all have the best moral compass, obviously, as a group
Most definitely.
of... Yeah.
I mean,
Hell
we're
yeah.
journalists, so.
Yeah.
Which is that good?
As a group of teenage girls, we have the
Plus KJ.
upper...
Yeah,
Plus KJ.
plus KJ.
No. I think KJ was
That's
included.
fine.
girl.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I'm part of the girls. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
part of the girls, for
He's
sure.
the gals.
I'm the gals.
So I did select these. We'll see. I didn't really think much, so we'll just see how this goes.
I'm excited though. I cannot wait to hear y'all's opinion.
Oh, this is gonna be crazy.
Like
I
makes
know.
a frown towards Hope after she's like, you know what? I think that was ethical. Honestly, it's
Am I
a
wrong for that? I don't know. Gaslight them, where it's like, am I the asshole for like telling this person like to set my boundaries? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hope,
Absolutely.
Hope
How
is-
could you?
Andrew Tate.
Boundaries are like super like no, like
They're
how
really
dare
unnecessary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you?
Absolutely.
Like protect yourself. How dare you?
How dare you protect your peace?
You thought? Really? Like seriously?
you thought you ate.
Delete your account.
Ratio. All right, this is the first one. I, 20 male, still live with my parents. I live in Texas, and pot is still able to ruin your life because it's illegal down here. The thing is, I have a friend who lives out in the sticks and grows it, and me and some other friends smoke it or make edibles from time to time. I think my parents know, but we have a don't ask, don't tell policy for it, I guess. Part of the reason for that is my dad's best friend is a cop. He openly admits he'd never let a friend or a family member get away with anything. I guess one time he arrested his other friend's 13-year-old son because he was selling weed to some friends. That was 2 years ago, and this kid's still in juvie. Add on to that, I don't really like or respect or trust cops at all, and I have a way with dealing with them. Whenever he comes over, I stay in my room as much as possible. If anyone asks me anything, I won't say anything more than I don't want any trouble. This kind of pisses them off, but that isn't illegal, so he can't do about it. My dad says I'm being a brat and that there's no reason to do that. But the way I see it, by not talking, I'm protecting myself since I don't have any weed or illegal stuff in my house. I may be overdoing it, but I don't want to take chances. Am I the jerk?
Wait, so is he asking if he's the jerk because he's not being open about the fact that he smokes /
I guess
like
so. Or
uses it?
Yeah, I guess, or that he's just like doesn't want to talk to the cop friend.
I mean, I
guess
don't
so.
see why.
Yeah.
I don't see how that could make you a jerk just because you don't want to openly admit or tell somebody that's against it.
You're just
Yeah.
you don't want to out yourself, and
No, not
you
at
know,
all.
It's marijuana. It's not that crazy.
Honestly, yeah. And I've been interviewing some people for actually a news story about using marijuana in Texas. And most of the opinions have been like, I don't care. You
Yeah.
know? So it's like, you do you, you know?
Yeah, and I kind of get where he's coming from. I mean, you're not being. I mean, from the story, it doesn't sound like you're being rude to the person. So I don't think it's that crazy. But
He's just protecting his peace.
he's
Right.
protecting his
Yeah,
peace.
he's protecting
Absolutely,
his peace.
he's setting boundaries.
Boundaries.
Uh-huh.
They're ethical now. Forget what I said 2 seconds ago. They're ethical now.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a jerk.
I don't think so either.
I mean, if you're, the legality is a little weird, but no, I don't think he's
Right.
he's a jerk.
I'll be real. I was like holding back a sneeze, but but yeah. I don't think he was a jerk. I mean, if you don't want to share your business, then it's your business.
It's
Right.
your
Like,
business, Dawn. Well, I guess that one was very easy to
Yeah.
More.
Let's get this next one. I think might be. I did read some of this. Okay. I, 26 female, am marrying my fiance, 28 male, in 2 years. To give you some backstory, my personal style is very dark. I wear black all the time. My home is black and gray. My hair is dark. My little slip, little Freudian slip. My bad. Guys. My heart. My heart.
My heart is black.
My soul is black.
My idea for my wedding is to have my fiance, our son, my nieces, and myself in all black and have the rest of the party white. My sister, 27 female, is also getting married this October. She is the opposite of me in almost everywhere. She has an all-white dress, loves colors. Blue and blush are her colors. Very elegant and pretty. We were talking the other day about how she wishes she could wear her wedding dress multiple times. I had the bright idea of saying, wear it to my wedding. We both loved the idea and thought if people had their wedding dresses, they could wear them to my wedding as long as they were white, or any variation of white. Most of my bridal party is also married, and I know all of their dresses are white because I attended their weddings. However, my little sister, 24 female, hates this idea. She's the only one in my bridal party that isn't married, so she would be the only one that wouldn't be wearing a wedding dress. She has been engaged for 4 years, and her fiance are always breaking up, so she doesn't have a dress. I told her since my wedding is 2 years away, I could help her buy a pretty white dress. She was still pissed off at me because she feels like I'm excluding her. This is where I know I'm an a-hole because I said, I'm offering to help you feel pretty and not left out, and you're mad because you and your loser boyfriend can't stay together long enough to pick wedding colors, let alone actually get married. She's still...
She ate with that.
She's,
I don't care. She ate. That was a good response.
I mean, should we cut it? Is there more?
Yeah, there is more.
Like,
She still hasn't talked to me, and it's been a week. Now I know I'm an a-hole for saying that, but am I the a-hole for the general theme of my wedding? No.
I mean, it just sounds like it's her style.
Yeah.
I don't really like the idea just because kind of like with the issue with her sister, like what if you're not married?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she's an a-hole for the idea, but I do think she's an a-hole for how she's handled the situation with her sister. Like, and it does kind of exclude her sister because her sister isn't married. So it's like, what is she supposed to wear?
Yeah.
I'll go last. I'll go last.
Yeah, I think honestly, for the first question where she was like, "Am I, the a-hole for that, like for the theme?" No, I don't
Yeah,
think.
for the theme.
Honestly, theme's cool, but kind of like what Kayla said, you do run into that problem where like not everyone's gonna be married. I wonder if there was something else going on in the background to induce that reaction where it was like, your husband sucks, your relationship sucks, like you guys can't even stay together for 4 years, but.
Not even
Right. Because I don't know any people who react like that, so I want to know if there was, a little more that was going on, or if the sister has a history of kind of, getting upset. Because
It's really
honestly,
hard. Like,
right, you could just buy, like, a cheap white dress and go. Like, it doesn't have to be a wedding dress unless, the author put an emphasis, like, it has to be, like, you were married, so put it on again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But that's,
just go
I
buy
don't know.
a dress.
honestly,
Yeah.
like, on Amazon, just,
Yeah, I can see that. I can see from both sides. I don't think you're an a-hole because of the theme, because it's your wedding. You choose the theme. Like, if you don't like it, you don't have to go. But, yeah, I could definitely see how she feels left out. But, like you said, if it's not, you don't have to wear a wedding dress. And there are plenty of really nice white dresses I'm sure you could find, so. But a little out of pocket, but it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. I ain't gonna lie.
what do you think?
I mean, yeah, for the theme, no, she's definitely not an a-hole for that. I mean, like you said, it's, it's your wedding, it's your theme, you choose the theme. For her sister, I mean, if it's that big of an issue, I mean, just, say, well, everybody doesn't have to wear a white dress, or a wedding dress, you could just have a white dress, that's fine. I mean, it's still gonna, who really cares, It's not their wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, that response is good. She ate with that. I'm sorry, but the delivery was a little. She could be a little nicer. She could say, "Wear a wedding dress if you have one." Emphasis on the if you have one. But it does really stem. I think it stems from the little sister's insecurity, because she's been engaged for 4 years. So I think it's on both of them. You don't have to wear a wedding dress if you're not married. Just say, oh, I'll just buy a cute little white dress and I'll go to my sister's bridal shower. Was it a bridal shower?
It's her wedding. A wedding.
The actual wedding. Damn. Yeah, just buy a white dress. I don't think it's a big deal. So,
yeah. 4 years on and off. Oh, sorry, I would never comment on someone's relationship like that.
Fiance, mind you, engaged for 4 years.
Off?
On and off, though?
That's wild.
Is that not a sign?
That's wild.
I don't know.
Because at first I was taking that information in as they've been just in a relationship, boyfriend and girlfriend for 4 years on and off. But to be engaged.
No, he proposed.
But
for 4 years, they on and off.
Yeah. Getting married.
No.
That's crazy.
Not gonna.
No.
I wonder where that comes from, though. Is it y'all's relationship, she just didn't want to say anything and then it all just came out?
Right.
But, yeah, that's...
I mean, I feel bad for the sister. Find another man, because something's wrong.
This isn't even about you, but man, we're making it about you.
Your relation, it's not the relationship for you.
I feel like they've had conversations before.
He's reluctant.
They had to.
Mm-hmm.
We're just theorizing about the others.
Sorry.
Oh, this title is this one's interesting. Am I the a-hole for making my daughters wear dresses when they visit their grandparents?
I like this conversation.
My in-laws are what you would call traditional. They seem to think the world should have stopped 50 years ago and think everything since then is evil. They aren't racist. Parentheses. Not that I know of. Or outwardly bigoted, but they are.
That's code for they are. That's code for they are.
They really went. They're not racist, I don't think.
Qualifying, I don't think there is racism with I don't think is crazy. Crazy. But they are very old fashioned. My husband and I have 3 children, 16F, 14F, 10M. We go to visit their grandparents since they live close. Here's the issue. They don't like the idea of women wearing pants. My mother-in-law says it's showing off, and my father-in-law says it isn't Christian. Now, I'm pretty feminine, so I don't mind throwing on a dress when we stop by, but our daughters are not. They don't like visiting my husband's parents, which breaks his heart, because we make them put on a dress before they go. They are both pretty tomboyish, and they never wear any dresses otherwise. I had to buy each of them a few dresses specifically so they can go. To be clear, it's not like they aren't allowed over if they wear pants. It's just that they won't shut up the entire time about how much they hate it. Our daughters hate this and thinks it's unfair. I guess it is, but in a lot of cultures, women only wear skirts and dresses, so I don't think it's a big deal. Plus, it isn't like it hurts them to wear a dress a few times a week for a few hours. Our issue is our oldest planning to never speak to her grandparents again after she's 18, and I'm worried it's affecting them. Am I the jerk?
Which one of y'all want to go first?
I'll go first. Are you the a-hole for making your daughters wear dresses? Yes. I'm sorry, but yes. The thing is, even if other cultures are oh, you can only wear, if you can only wear dresses and skirts, the thing is, you're not a part of those cultures. I'm assuming you're an American family. A lot of girls don't wear dresses and skirts. A lot of them don't. And that's okay. The thing with their grandparents is, I've seen this phenomena among like a lot of aunties and uncles where they don't want to see what the other generation has to say, and the other generation is like, I don't really want to wear that, and then they're like, no, we're right. And it's like that stubbornness that gets them to the point where their grandchildren don't want to talk to them anymore. So that 16-year-old grandchild, she's not going to talk to her grandparents because they didn't listen.
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you don't listen to your children, no matter what the issue is, they're not going to listen to you. They're not going to talk to you. So are you the a-hole? Yes, because you're enabling it. So.
And just because you don't feel that it's unfair to, like, make your kids wear a dress because you're okay with it doesn't mean, like, it's pants. It's not immodest. They're not, I'm sure they're not, like, you know, throwing it back in their grandparents' house. Like, it is not that crazy. And those are your kids, like, that you created them. If your parents have a problem, or if your kids have a problem with your grandparents, you should probably listen to them, not take the words of your grandparents that you don't think are racist.
It's so crazy.
That's crazy. That's really crazy. But it's 2023. If you think it, and also if your parents are so adamant about your kids having to wear dresses, maybe cut them out of your lives if they can't accept that, because it's effing pants.
Right.
It's not crazy.
No, seriously, they're just, I don't know. I feel like when it comes to between, you don't have to, like, pick your grandparents versus your kids, you know. But your kids are going to be younger, and they're going to grow up watching you fold to that, you know, and just, they're going to feel the effects of that. The poor girls don't. Just let them wear the pants. It's not.
Well, yeah, I
Come
think that
on.
sets, like, a really bad example
Right.
for their kids, because I don't think, to me, like, if I was their kid, I'd feel like my parents weren't protecting me and weren't supporting me.
Yeah.
Like, you don't ever want to make your kid feel like you don't have their back. Like, that is a problem within itself. Like, aside from the article of clothing. To me, the fact that it's pants makes it worse, but just in general, like, they're kids. If anything, like, you should be talking to the adults, like, to the grandparents, about how they should be more understanding. You shouldn't be going to a kid asking them to be the adult in the situation. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
And
Exactly. Good Lord.
and I'm sure if your kids don't want to talk to your grandparents anymore, it wasn't just the pants. Like, if they're super traditional.
Oh, there's much more.
Yeah, it's not just, I don't talk to my grandparents anymore because I have to wear dresses. Like, it's definitely more than that.
No,
and
it goes deeper, especially like for kids. Like, kids, they'll definitely, like, you know, go deeper than just, you know, I don't talk to them because they don't allow me to wear pants. I have to wear dresses around them. Like, no, it's going to be a lot more that goes into it. And for the parents, you really have to, in those situations, you have to have your kids back, you know. Grandparents, they're just genes. Get it together. They're genes. Come on.
Well, also, like, she said that the grandparents, it's not like they can't wear pants and go see their grandparents, but the grandparents are going to be, like,
They'll be talking about it. Yeah.
What are they saying? Like, that, to me, that's shaming
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the sorts of things they'd be saying to those girls. And I feel like,
And it's hurtful for the kids. Like,
Exactly.
if it's your grandparents. Like, if you go to your grandparents' house wearing something that they don't approve of, and granted, if it's nothing like, you know, anything that's too out there, you know, like, the kids are gonna feel, you know, my grandparents don't. I don't know. I'm sensing a lack of love or a lack of respect
what I'm
from
saying.
my
That's
grandparents. You know, it's
extremely
like, and
disrespectful.
it can really affect them. Like, you know, because I mean, they look up to their grandparents. Kids look up to their grandparents too.
why would you
know?
want to have a relationship with someone who does not respect you?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It was also the verbiage, like, showing off their kids. Like, what
Yeah.
they should feel comfortable in, like, whatever they're wearing.
And why are you sexualizing kids?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And, like, to some extent, like, you dress a certain way around your family. Like, I'm not gonna, like, go to my grandparents' house, like, you know, like, in, like, a crop top that's, like, very, you know, like, but, like,
That's what I'm saying.
it's, like, time and place, but that applies to all situations. Like, when they're visiting their grandparents, they're not gonna wear, like, booty shorts. Like,
It's gonna be like a t-shirt, some
Yeah, and
jeans,
they're-
some tennis shoes.
like, I mean, I'm assuming, but they probably aren't disrespectful kids, and I really don't. I don't know. It's just so often in families you hear like, yeah, you can't wear that around this family member, or like,
Which is so
it's
weird.
crazy.
Like,
It's crazy.
what do
Then
you
don't bring them
mean?
around.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? That's
Yeah.
crazy. You should be comfortable.
They definitely need a family discussion, like a sit down family discussion
Bro,
about that.
grandma, if you can't get behind sweatpants, that's your problem.
Get with it, grandma.
Literally. And at the end of the day, like, those are your and I hate that. I hate that, like, kids are often seen as being responsible for the well-being of the relationship when they're the kid.
Right.
Like, the grandparent should be the one.
That's not my problem.
Yeah.
Like, right? Like, you're the adult. You should be facilitating that, not the kid coming to you and being like, will you please treat me with respect? Like,
Right.
that's
Can
not
I
how
please
it
wear
works.
pants?
Like, come on now.
How old are you again? Like, ma'am, sir.
And it's really
Get it together.
It's-
Barbara.
Barb.
Barb.
It's really frustrating being the younger generation because so many times you hear like, oh, they're just old, like they're not gonna, you know, learn their ways. Which I guess to some extent you're just gonna have to accept. But that is the most frustrating excuse. Like, we had to adjust like our whole mind frame, and just because you're not willing to like change one aspect that is not crazy at all, like it's too much. It's
They're
too
Wranglers,
much for me.
grandma.
They're Dickies, mom. They're Dickies. They're work pants.
Leave the Levi's alone.
So they are the a-hole?
Yes, I would agree.
I'd say the general consensus is yes.
Yeah. Here's another one. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my cousin congratulating me on my pregnancy? That's
Okay,
a
well.
loaded
What's the
title.
context? What's the context? Like,
Wait, y'all know in English class when you have to do like TP cast, like you have to analyze the title before? Like,
Yes.
this is what that
It's a loaded title.
is crazy.
That's interesting.
I know. I, 25F, recently found out that I'm pregnant. The only two people that know are my husband, mom, brothers, and my husband's family. I have a cousin, 23F, who I haven't seen about in 10 years as she lives in Belgium and I live in the US. From time to time, she reaches out to me. A couple days ago, my cousin texted me and congratulated me on my pregnancy, and I was really shocked about how she knew. I didn't want any of my extended family to know yet. I told her it was such a random thing for her to say, and I brushed it off. She had said that her mom, my aunt, had told her, and she just wanted to give her congrats. I told her I wasn't pregnant, and she started apologizing, saying it was probably a miscommunication. I just left her on red. Then she texted me saying it was my mom who told her mom, and now she's confused. I told her it would have been better if she didn't ask me at all, and that I would have wanted to announce it instead on social media. I deleted the chat, and she just left me on red. I don't know if I reacted a bit rude to her, so am I the a-hole?
Okay, I have thoughts.
Okay.
So, to me, this kind of goes back to, in a way, the wedding situation. I just think you always should respect people's privacy and their business.
Right.
And with something as personal or like as intimate as like pregnancy, I feel like I completely understand wanting to be the one who shares that sort of news. And I think it is kind of sucky that like for you to have like a friend or a family member go around telling other people for you. I feel like a lot of people, especially couples, like they want to do that sort of announcement themselves. So I understand that part. I think maybe leaving her on red was a little, it could be seen as rude, but that's not like, honestly, that's not what I heard. What I heard was somebody else shared some pretty personal information to another one of her family members when she wanted to keep that under wraps until she was ready. And she felt disrespected because she didn't get to make that choice.
Yeah. I would say that this isn't a strong, you're the a-hole, but I don't think you should have reacted that strongly to her. It should have been the person who told her. Because if I was the cousin that was receiving the information, I probably would have assumed, oh, other people know, so I'm going to go congratulate you. Not, and then you're coming at me with all this, oh, I didn't tell other people, like, how could you? Like, you probably just didn't know. And it could have been resolved like, oh, hey, I don't want other people knowing. Could you not tell other people?
Right.
But it's not as a strong of a last one, but it's like you probably you shouldn't have taken out. You could have taken it out on her mom.
Right, like you
Right.
should have taken it out on the person,
That
or not
actually
even
source of the
right,
problem.
Yeah.
and not even like taking it out. Like you should have just said to
Yeah.
your mom, like, "Hey, I wish you wouldn't have like said anything like, can you not, because like I plan on, or like my husband and I plan on doing this sort of announcement. Like that's it.
Yeah. And granted, I haven't been pregnant or had to announce that kind of thing, so I probably don't understand the weight. But it's also. But it's only one other person that knows, so I just feel it's only one person, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
But like, is it that big of a deal that you would have announced it anyways, and then backpedaling and being like, "I'm not pregnant"? It's funny. It's crazy to me. Like,
I never
no.
claimed to be pregnant.
And then you pop out on, on Instagram. Wait, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
And she like hits her up. I thought you weren't pregnant.
Yeah. And then that's like another thing. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I could totally see like the other person's side though. Like if I had gotten that information from like my mom who heard from the other mom, I'm thinking like, oh,
Right.
you know, and then now I'm just gonna send my congratulation. I could see the panic in like the author where it's like, oh my god, you know, these people now know that I'm pregnant. Like I wanted to say that. But I feel like you do kind of have to step outside of yourself for a second, you know, because there was well intentions,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, like she congratulated her.
Right.
It wasn't like, you're what? Like,
Oh
you know?
yeah, because if it would have been like a negative reaction, then it is kind of like.
At
what
least the
hell?
cousin didn't like make a post about it.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, just
Yeah.
completely telling her whole business. Now,
If
if
it
I
was-
was the cousin, you know, I wouldn't. Me personally, I wouldn't. You know, just text her and be like, "Oh my God, congratulations!" I probably would have asked first, you know, just to confirm myself. I would ask the person that you know the topic is about, so that way you know I can have my facts straight before I congratulated. But as for the author herself, I do believe she could have handled the situation a little bit better. I do understand where she's coming from because that is her business and she confided in somebody else. First off, you know, she probably could have told, I don't know if she did or not, but she could have said, you know, I would like to keep this between us. Don't tell anybody else. So I do somewhat agree. I do somewhat understand where she's coming from, but I do still think that she could have handled the situation with her cousin a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get the mic.
I think, yeah, she could have, you know, reacted a little better. I think she could have been like, "Oh, thanks. Could you like not tell anyone else from our extended family or anyone else?" I feel like the cousin cared enough to congratulate. I think that shows that she's willing to not tell anyone. I feel like she cares about the author enough to be like, okay, yeah, I won't tell anyone, but you need to talk to your mother, honey.
Right.
Like,
Because I feel like that's a trust thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, if you tell someone something personal about yourself, like whether it be something kind of small or something as big as like, I'm having a baby, like whoever you tell, I'm assuming like you're being intentional about that. Because like if she wanted people to know right off the bat, like she could have just made a post about it herself.
Right.
But obviously she really cared about that intimacy. So,
Right.
So
So it just falls back onto the mother.
mm-hmm.
yeah.
She's
so,
the
The
a-hole.
mother's the a-hole.
She's
Mom's the
the
a-hole.
mother's the a-hole.
yeah. So consensus, you're not really.
Like
the-
gently
you
the
should have.
a-hole.
You
Like,
shouldn't have blown up at your cousin.
Respectfully.
It was
Respectfully, you're the
Yeah.
a-hole.
you're not an a-hole. You're just a little
It was-
mean.
Yeah, it was just
little.
too much.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I was
Too much.
yeah, but I was going through like the comments on that, and they were like, "You're gaslighting her." I was like, "I don't think it's that serious. Like, that was kind of rude, but like, you're not an awful person." Yeah. Well, and next one, am I the a-hole for asking stepdaughter to move out?
Ooh.
This is an ongoing issue going on in my house. That was redundant. Sorry.
Ongoing issue.
The writer in me. Sorry, guys. I, 33F, am currently pregnant with my first child. I live in a two-bedroom home with my husband and stepdaughter, 23F. Stepdaughter and I get along fine with no big issues, but we are not super close. Now that the baby is coming, we need more space, and unfortunately, we can't afford a new home. I brought up to my husband asking stepdaughter to move out. My reasoning is that we really need her room for the new baby, and she's an adult with a full-time job, so it's time for her to be on her own anyway. My husband agreed, and we brought it up to her at dinner one night. We told her we would help her with the first 2 months' rent. I told her it would be fun, and I could go shopping and help her decorate her new apartment. We tried to be as gentle as we could, but she was very quiet. Privately, she told my husband that even though she has a full-time job, she cannot afford to live on her own. My husband told her she did not need to move out, so we were scrambling to find a space for the new baby. The other day, I was alone with my stepdaughter and tried to talk to her about it again. I offered to help her find a roommate, and she snapped on me. She snapped on me and told me to just leave her alone and locked herself in her room. When my husband got home from work, he was mad at me and told me to leave her alone and not bring it up anymore. Things have been awkward and uncomfortable since my pregnancy is very stressful. I'm guessing this next part is edited because it does not make, the upcoming thing I'm about to read. She is 23 years old and old enough to be on her own because she has a job and we're willing to help her. We need space for a baby. I do not see how I'm in the wrong here. So I feel like that last part was edited in because, like, why are you backpedaling? You're asking people if you don't think you're in the wrong. But am I the a-hole? Who wants to go first on that?
Well, I just feel like there's a lot of context that we do not have. Also, in these sexy times, in this economy,
Absolutely.